You are looking at MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. In a few weeks or a few months, depending on when you are watching this, that building will host the biggest single sporting event on the planet. Hi, my name is Deepika Pandit, and this is the story of why the World Cup is impossible to explain until you just look at the numbers. Let me give you one comparison. The Super Bowl, which is a magnificent event, I want to say that clearly drew 115 million viewers last year. The World Cup final drew 1,500,000,000. That is 10 Super Bowls happening simultaneously around the entire planet. One game, and here's the number that really gets people. FIFA has 211 member nations. The United States nations has 193. More countries play this sport than exist as members of the United States nations. Let that sink in. The 2026 World Cup spans 3 countries and 16 cities, even 11 in the United States, 3 in Mexico, 2 in Canada. If you are in Atlanta, Boston, Miami, Seattle, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Dallas are right here, New York or New Jersey. The World Cup is literally in your backyard. And the final, the last match of the entire tournament, is at MetLife, New Jersey. This is not happening far away. This is happening here. Let's stay on the final venue for a second, MetLife Stadium. 82,500 seats, 8 matches total, including the final. Largest stadium in the northern eastern United States. When 1.5 billion people around the world tune in for the final, they are looking at the building that sits about 20 minutes from the Times Square, which is a considerable upgrade from the usual location. Now I want to tell about the trophy, because this thing has had a life. World War II, FIFA's vice president hid the original trophy in a shoebox under his bed to keep it away from the Nazi soldier occupying Rome. For the entire duration of the year 1966 London, the trophy is stolen. A week of international panic. Then a dog named Pickles, sniffing under a garden hose, found it wrapped in a newspaper. Pickles became a national celebrity. Got fan mail, appeared in a film. I promise I'm not making this up. 1983, stolen again. Brazil never found. Believed to have been melted down for the gold. We don't know. Today's trophy is worth $20 million. And when you win the World Cup, you don't actually get to keep it, which is sad. FIFA locks the real one in a vault. You get a gold-plated replica, which is the kind of fine print no one mentions when you sign up. I want to tell you about one man. His name is Lionel Messi, widely considered the greatest soccer player who ever lived. He played in 5 World Cups over 20 years, and he never won, not once. Every 4 years, the whole world hopped. Every 4 years, heartbreak. Then 2022 is 35. Everyone knew it was his last shot. He carried Argentina through entire time, through a penalty shootout, and finally lifted it. Now let me make you feel that. Imagine Tom Brady, who I suspect a few of you have heard of, played in 5 Super Bowls over 20 years, lost every single one, and then in his very last game at 35, won. That is exactly what the world was in 2022. Let's talk about moments that stopped the world. 1950, USA 1, England 0. England was one of the pre-tournament favorites. British newspaper received the score, and several refused to print it. They assumed it was a typo for 10-1. It was not a typo. 2014, Germany beats Brazil 7-1. On Brazilian soil, in their own semi-final, Brazilian newspapers printed all black front pages. The moment is still called the Mineiro in Brazil. They're still processing it. And 2022, Argentina versus France, 3-3 after 120 minutes. Mbappe hat-trick, Messi hat-trick, penalty shootout. Widely called the greatest single sporting match ever played. Now a few facts you simply cannot make up. The fastest World Cup goal, 11 seconds. Before most fans had found their seats, Paul the Octopus, 2010, German aquarium won octopus. World Cup results predicted, 8 World Cup results predicted, 8 correct, including the champion. He was given round-the-clock police protection. I want to be clear, there are currently nations spending less to protect their actual head of state Then Egypt's goalkeeper in 2018, age 45, saved a penalty kick. And in 1982, a Kuwaiti prince walked into the pitch mid-game, 60,000 fans watching to personally argue a goal with the referee. The goal was disallowed. Being royalty still has its advantage. Okay. In 96 years of World Cup history, more than 80 nations have competed. Only 80 have won. Brazil, 5 times. Germany and Italy, 4 each. Argentina, 3. France, Uruguay, 2 each. England and Spain, 1 each. 8 countries in nearly a century of competition. This is why every World Cup week feels like history is either being written or defended. Now, all of this is also generating a staggering amount of money. The 2026 World Cup is projected to produce $41 billion in economic output across North America. The United States alone, $17 million. To put that in perspective, the Super Bowl generates roughly $500 million for one city over one weekend. The World Cup runs 39 days, 16 cities, 3 countries. At that point, it is less a sporting event and more a 39 days economic gift that happens to involve a ball. Hotels, restaurants, transportation, small businesses that has never seen a single international customer before. This is what it means when the world shows up. And here is where it gets fun. Over 1 million international visitors are showing up in America, many for the first time. And they have thoughts. A German fan walked into Buc-ee's, posted a video, caption, "Dude, LMAO, this is a gas station?" 500,000 views. A Japanese tourist tried biscuits and gravy for the first time and wrote a public apology. Quote, "When the plate arrived, I thought something had gone in the kitchen. But I must now formally apologize to the biscuits, to the gravy, to the waitress, to the kitchen, and to the entire breakfast tradition of the American South. It was magnificent." And a Dutch fan at Costco bought a 6-pound jar of peanut butter and realized, we do not have a car. That is why this event matters. It turns ordinary weekdays into shared global moments. It makes strangers argue about lineups like old friends. And this time, it's not happening somewhere far away. It is happening here, in our time zones, in our cities. The world has come to America. The beautiful game needs no translation. A dog found the trophy, a prince stormed the pitch, an octopus called every result. And right here, across 16 cities, 3 countries, 39 days, 1 million visitors are discovering America. Through Waffle House and Buc-ee's and $41 billion worth of something that needs no rulebook handout and no translation. It's already here, in your city, in your backyard. The beautiful game needs no translation. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe for more content of soccer. Thank you.